Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cara Delane.
Welcome, everyone, to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It's a big night, Ted.
Cara, it is. We have the winners of the Best Practice Awards. We had a big week last week. We had our first 4-day Fixed Ops Roundtable. Congratulations to everybody who's on here. I'll introduce everyone. I wanted to make sure, Cara, that I could get Zach up near the BG logo, and I did that just right. So
where it belongs.
Right over up there. Yeah.
Yep. So perfect. Everybody. Now, Cara, we're live tonight. Is that right?
We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So hopefully we get some comments down below and everybody's sharing the video.
Great. And I want to introduce everybody to our winners tonight, starting with Zach Fox from BG Products. Zach, welcome. Thank you so much. An extraordinary work that you did on the first 2 days of the event. Your voting came in first place from the attendees. Appreciate that. Robert Migliaccio from Carter Myers Valley is here with us tonight. Elizabeth Martin is with us tonight. Scott Clark Automotive Group. Appreciate that. And Allison Landis from Inkcentric. Allison, welcome as well.
Thank you.
And of course, I don't want to forget our good friend Sean Butler, who was our keynote on the last day. Sean with the Umansky Automotive Group. Now it's part of my lingo, Sean.
Good.
All right. So super. So real quick, I want to thank our exclusive sponsor for the After Dark show. That is BG Products, partners beyond products. We learned a whole lot about BG last week from Zach Fox and from Don Lindsay. We'll talk about that here shortly. But, and again, Cara, we're live, so comments can come in tonight, right?
They can. I already see some people commenting down below. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave us some comments and some congratulations for all of our winners tonight.
Okay, super. So, Cara, that was quite an effort. Our first 4-day Good Evening Coralie Fixed Ops Roundtable, and a whole lot, Cara. A lot of moving parts to make that happen.
It was a lot, but I think it was well worth it, Ted. I think there was a need for that 4th day, and I think it went great.
Yeah, it went extremely well. So thank you to everybody who participated. We had over 100 speakers. Cindy Reynolds, I think we had like 30 some panels, 5 keynotes. So there were a lot of moving parts, Allison, in that. And Allison, you've been involved with a lot of Fixed Ops Roundtables. So again, this was the first time. Allison, from one day when you first went to that one in Los Angeles, now 4 days. How about that?
Oh, Ted, this has grown to be so huge. And I loved all 4 days of this last event. I was glued every single day. It's tons of information. Thank you for doing that for all of us.
I know you were on there. Thank you for all you do as well for the industry. And Eric Barbosa, Eric, hats off to you as well down there in Texas. So thank you for all you do. Zach Fox with BG Products. So Zach, you took us through partners beyond products. We've been hearing a lot about that for the last year. I know, everybody on the panel has been hearing about that as well. Zach, talk to us about some of the things, because we had to take it over 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, as you took us through all the elements and all the, I think you just gave us the high level stuff, and Tully, Sir Tully is here. Congratulations, Tully, to you as well. Zach, a whole lot that you shared with the group.
Oh, absolutely. There's always tons to share when you have a company that's just very, diverse in the offerings we bring, but working with our dealers to make them more successful, even if it's not a direct, profit to us or benefit to us, has just kind of always been what we did. If we take care of, our dealerships, they take care of us. So that's partners beyond products in a nutshell. But, we talked about our 800 plus reps that are out in the field, living in the communities they service. We talked about our apps. We talked about training, how that whole process works, different supply chain things like purchasing our shipping company, just to ensure that those products are getting there, that everything is in the dealerships when they need it. And then, on our second day, we talked a lot about that digital assets, where we got into warranty analysis and our smart VMA menus, and got through that new Hyper BI tool that's coming out. And it's, the way we just kind of package all these pieces, that help our dealer partners, without really being, that kind of cash cow that's in the middle, right? We don't do it for the money. Those help our dealers make the money, and in turn builds a better relationship for us that works for everybody.
We showed a lot of different pieces of what you just spoke about, including, I think it was an award-winning augmented reality piece, as it appears in the dealership with managers and advisors using that. And Zach, that's got to be the first of its kind, at least in this setting in retail automotive in the service area.
Yeah, there's been a kind of a few different companies that have tried some pieces around that, and we looked at it and said, this is something we can do. This is something we can build for our dealerships. And we said, well, everything needs to come back to using this and training and making it easy to use. And we didn't want to have some giant goggles placed on everybody's head and everything. So that's why it's available. You can pull it right up on your cell phones. You can pull it up on the tablets. So the advisors are using it quite a bit right out in the service lanes and just showing that augmented reality engines, braking systems, cooling systems, and like I said, using it beyond just our products. But when you're explaining timing chains, there's the piece right there. You can walk the customer through it, show it to them exactly what it is without having to, drag them all the way back into the shop.
And a big part of what BG does is that education piece, Zach. And you're very unique. You've got a lot of people. I think you said 800 some people, in the field working with retailers. You spoke right after Darren Gresseth gave us that tour in Kansas, which is pretty amazing. And be it like BG, right? I mean, you've got so much going on, so many moving parts, with a lot of supply chain issues that are facing the rest of the industry. Wouldn't it be that BG would buy the shipping company that ships the product? So congratulations to you on that announcement with Metro on day one. I was actually really pleased to see that.
Yeah, it's been a fun one. I mean, it's kind of business as usual to a certain extent. They've been our partner, for 40 plus years. So it was just kind of a no brainer that we could, make sure we kept all that in, and that way we can guarantee that the products are on the shelves, the equipment's there. We manufacture all that equipment, so we've got to make sure that all these pieces are our responsibility to make sure everybody at the dealership level has exactly what they need when they need it, on time and without delay.
So, Kara, I think it's amazing that BG has gone from a product that is not contained to just that little can of original motor oil additive, and they've gone now to all parts of the vehicle, all different vehicles all over the world, and now all these other moving parts that they've got. And Zach explained to us they're getting into all these new areas now, some of which we've seen before on the roundtable, but not, Zach, from BG before. So congratulations to you. A lot of big announcements last week. So it's going to really help in serving your dealers. So congratulations to you.
Thanks, Ted.
Elizabeth, congratulations. Best Practice Award. You were on a big panel there with Sarah Van Tyne on the future of BDC. You had some big dealers on there. Andy Wright from Vienart Dealerships was on there. William Demery from Tomwood Automotive Group. Brian from the Audi Naples store. Talk to us about that panel, because you shared a lot of best practices, and obviously that resonated, with the audience as well.
So the panel was about BDC and how important to have a service BDC in a dealership. And a lot of it was mainly like how we should communicate with customers, how we can communicate with the service advisor, and how we can keep our best employees and what we can do to retain and attract them. I think one of the important things we talked about was to be able to offer a flexible schedule to our employees, because one of the things I talked about was, some of us have kids, and, I want to be able to help them and have a healthy work-life balance. And it was just a lot of fun. I learned a lot from the other people on the panel too.
And I failed to mention, you also had Nikki Risley, the dealer from Daytona Dodge, on that panel as well. It was her first time on the roundtable, and Sarah did a separate segment introducing Nikki to the roundtable. But I thought just a great job on that. That was probably longer than the average panel, but really well done and well received, and great best practices. And if you don't mind, Elizabeth, share with us a little bit about what you do at Scott Clark with that service BDC, and what kind of operation you oversee there.
So I am the service BDC manager for Scott Clark, Toyota, Honda, and Nissan. So I do all three stores. And our job is to communicate with customers and, schedule service appointment, answer general questions, price quotes, check recalls. And it's also a job to have the right expectation for customers when they come in as far as like time frames or making sure that the part's going to be there in time for the appointment. And we, of course, always want to follow up with customers. It's just something like, say, for example, we order a part, it's not going to be here for the appointment. We call them, we stay in constant communication with the customer as well as the advisor. We do also communicate with the finance department as well. We started taking, I think, finance calls probably a couple years ago. And we help with warranty cancellation whenever a customer reaches the end of the contract. They reach the terms and everything, so we help them with that. We do quite a bit. We do a lot.
Yeah, and I want to call out Owen Moon's been in the chat. John Canales. John, congratulations to you as well. One of the things, Zach, that we heard a lot about, and Elizabeth just mentioned it, was recalls at this event. We haven't heard as much about recalls as we have at this past 4-day event. I think in the past 2 years, recalls was really near the top of the list. The fact that there's a lot of new technology out there, Zach. We see AI being deployed so that once a customer calls to make an appointment, we can recognize if there's an open recall, and we can help set that up and make sure that the parts are in stock when the customer comes in. And there's just some new moving pieces on that, Elizabeth, I was really amazed that, recalls are a big and growing, product in fixed ops. So
yeah, there's a lot that goes on with that. I mean, not only do you have to communicate with the customer, set the right expectation, you have to communicate with the parts department, just to make sure that those parts are even available, and set them out far enough in advance to give enough time for it to come in. And customers will often have questions about the recall. What type of recall is it? Is my car safe to drive? Or do you know how long it's going to be? Things like that.
Super. And Zach, also Ford's got that big mobile program now, where a lot of the retailers have these mobile vans. So there's a lot of new things in place to help the dealers, fill that mobile business, especially on the recall side, Zach. So I thought that was interesting as well. All right. Robert Miggs, welcome. You had several big panels you were on. Congratulations to you. Starting with I think the Automax panel, but there was much more than that, Robert. What were some of the things that you were on?
So this time around, we did the battle in the Wild West between service and parts on the parts and service communication aspect, and then we also did the tech one with recruiting. We specialize a lot of time in the recruiting aspect and what we do at each of our stores to make sure onboarding is taken care of properly and quickly and efficiently for all the new staff.
And parts were early in this event. We had that panel on the first morning, Kara, on Monday. That was your friend, Kara Kaylee Filio, from Parts Edge, put that together. Robert, that was really well done. You had Mike Weldon on there from Hansel Automotive Group and a lot of other leaders as well.
I think Sean Butler was on that one with me as well. We spent some time going back and forth on that and just different things and different methods to unify the departments across the board and kind of work together.
Hey, Sean Kingery, welcome and congratulations to you as well. Cover of Fixed Ops magazine, so appreciate you. Sean Butler, I knew I liked that panel on parts, the battle of parts and service. So, Sean, that was a great panel.
Man, I love that panel. Kaylee is so awesome. She's done a lot to bring parts to the forefront in the industry. And, like I always preach, that when customers come in, they only see one dealership, right? They don't see parts. They don't see service. They don't see sales. It's Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge. It's Honda. It's Toyota. Whatever it is, we all have to present a unified front and work together to make it successful, including with the BDC and, with our partner supporters like BG and the other type of products out there. And, me, I'm a huge customer advocate, as well as number one, the employee advocate. So, that's my main focus.
And Sean Butler, I think you were on like a record number of panels this time. Plus, you were a keynote speaker on the last morning. Congratulations to you. And, share with us some of the things that you talked about, because that really resonated. I noticed the votes for Sean Butler really went up on that last morning.
Well, I would think that a lot of it has to focus around with my focus on the employee experience, because I believe that if we have the best employee experience, it creates the best customer experience. It transcends through the dealership. And, that's been my number one focus. I mean, self-admittedly, I used to be a very selfish person. And since I turned to focus on others, it's changed my whole perspective. And I believe everybody around me is lifted up when we put them first. It's just, it's an unbelievable change in our industry, especially during the COVID times, like Elizabeth was mentioning, that we have to meet people at their needs. Some people want recognition. Some people need more time with their factories. With their family. Some people need more money. Some people want education. Whatever it is, we have to find that place and continue to grow our industry. It's a nonstop evolution. And you help bring that to the forefront, Ted. Thank you so much for putting this together. And I'm happy to be at your disposal. It's funny, every time you call me, you go, "Hey, Sean, so tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah, Ted, I got you. No problem."
See, Zach, he's not the only one that I've called like that.
That's this industry, right? You never, you can plan your day as best as possible for the next 3 months. Tomorrow, it can all change. And sometimes that's stressful, but a lot of times that's just kind of part of the fun of working in this industry.
You're not kidding. And hey, Sean, you mentioned something that Elizabeth talked about just briefly a little while ago, is that work-life balance. That's really risen to the top as well. The importance of, the, not just for the guests, but for the employees, starting with the employee satisfaction. And, there's been all new types of work weeks that we've seen introduced in the last year. And, being able to, to make it make sense, for the employees at the dealership, Sean. And it doesn't go unnoticed, all the things that you've done with your employees as well.
No. So at any point in time with any of my employees, if they have something come up with their kids or something with a family member, a health issue, it's okay. We'll work around it. But I have strived really hard to work with the 4-day work schedule for most of my employees. Almost all of them, I have that available to them. Some want to work more. That's just what they're used to. But a 4-day work schedule to me has become kind of the norm. And, we have to adjust to changing times and adapt. And God bless them. Everybody has something to do, and we just have to be there and meet the needs of our people, and they will meet the needs of our dealership. I probably have 2 more people in every position than I need, but COVID taught me a lesson. That's what we need.
Yeah. The gentleman who was just in the chat, Kyle Cloud, who with the Carl Black Automotive Group, Kyle is in Orlando, was on your panel on, believe it was on the third day, Sean, and it was on technology on the service drive with that, I believe it was a UVI system that you folks talked about, and how you can use that for on the reconditioning and merchandising side. That was a really interesting and well-received panel also, Sean Butler.
The UVI is an incredible product, and I think what we're finding is that things like that seem too expensive for maybe one department, when you figure out a way to utilize that for every department and you maximize the opportunity there, then it becomes a no-brainer. The UVI product, the traction from David Boyle, True, we have True Video, we had Call Review, so many great things out there that came across. And I wouldn't know about half of these things if it wasn't for you, Ted, bringing these to the forefront. So, I make so many great connections, and I learn so many things every time. And, I run a business. I don't have time to sit there and watch for 10 hours a day for 4 days straight, but I can always pick something that maximizes my opportunity to learn every show.
Allison, I learned that from Sean Butler. He said, you know what? Pick out the high points and what you want on the agenda, and promote that and let us know what segments that we're on as well. Because I may not watch the whole show, like you just said, but there are certain things that I want to make sure that I don't miss, Allison. So, we're learning a whole lot about viewers' habits and attendees' habits as well.
Well, Ted, what you offer is the lineup ahead of time. That helps all of us so much to know what times we want to watch. I mean, you're so detailed and thorough with this. Really, I hope you know how much we appreciate it. It makes it so much easier for all of us.
And Allison, that's not always so easy to do, right? And I think, you can appreciate how early we started recording with this event. And the reason we do that is because we want to get that footage in and edited and cleaned up. And, this way we can get it on the agenda nice and early. And, but it's getting easier and getting better. And, I've got a lot of great help, like Sean Kingry. Thank you, Sean, with all the accolades. Appreciate that. That hasn't gone unnoticed. And of course, Cara Delane, who did all those transitions. Cara, you took a couple days just to record all that. That was amazing work.
It's well worth it every single time, and I enjoyed doing it. And I learned a lot just recording those events about each individual speaker and their company and what they're trying to accomplish in the upcoming year. So I'm always blessed to be here.
Yeah, and a lot of great people we've met along the way, right? Who've got all these different strengths and, just amazing. Zach, I didn't know when we first did the Fixed Ops Roundtable like 3.5 years ago. I didn't even know, or 4 years ago now, I didn't even know if we could fill one day, let alone, have a recurring event that we could do every now and then for a day. Here we are, Zach, and we're doing a 4-day event. And Zach, we had you on 2 days, and we had Darren on there, and we had Don Lindsay, and Zach, appreciate all that BG does for this event, and you really are a huge part of it, Zach.
Absolutely, we love doing it. I'd have to say that when we look at this, it's always fun for me because I got it's playing for days. We got it going in the background. Maybe you're working on one piece here, and then you've got something you plan to tune in for, and you tune into that one thing you wanted to see, that one panel you wanted to hear, and then 3 or 4 more speakers later, you're getting back to what you were working on because you found something else you had no idea you were interested in, but you just kind of stumbled into what was next. And you're learning about pieces of the business that maybe we haven't even looked at. We get so focused in our own worlds that all of a sudden we're like, I never really thought about how I could help here, but that's kind of similar to this piece over here. And it just becomes a lot of fun to take part in this and to, all the learning that everybody does from different places and different interests.
A sharing of ideas among peers. I think it's really strong.
Ted, real quickly, one of the big sponsors, I think that really we learned a lot about this last Repair Pal, right? How much movement have they made in making transparency amongst the dealerships over the last, 2 or 3 panels? That's been incredible of how people will approach me and go, wow, you really like that? And I'm like, absolutely. But hold on, I'll give you the number.
Yeah. Repair Pal's been around for a while, but they didn't have the dealer focus they have now. They've been involved, as you know, Sean, with repair shops. And I know, Sean, you're a certified Repair Pal dealer. But about a year ago, we sat down. They had been with us for about 2 years. Tully, I know you are as well, over at Nilo Company in Sacramento. And they said, what do you think is the big focus? And that's where the word transparency, we started talking about that. And we said, why don't we make transparency a bigger part of the Repair Pal piece? And they ran with it, Sean, and I'm glad they did. And it's everybody else has followed that, Sean.
Yeah, people like Tully and Sean Kingray and Ed Roberts. I mean, I'm 100% humbled to be even on the same genre as those guys. I mean, it's crazy. But, Kyle McLeod, he was awesome when he came in. I learned a lot about him. And when you put Repair Pal out there and you're certified, you're going to be in a range that anybody can Google and boom, there you are. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I love it. It's all organic. Robert, I'm thinking about maybe 8-9 months ago, you texted me or messaged me, and then Ed Roberts and Ed and I got to talking, and you told us that you wanted to be on the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And Robert, we had just started seeing you on social media, And Ed said, absolutely. Let's have Robert on a panel or two. And Robert, your transformation has been amazing. You've been on so many pieces, on so many events now. Robert, talk to us about that. What prompted you to do that and, make all these changes and, come to the forefront of Fixed Ops?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the big thing every time you call me, Ted, it's how can I help? Anytime I text you is what can I do? Where can I step in? That's the biggest thing. For me, it was always giving back to this industry and what it's done for me and my family and allowed us to do. And obviously just being a part of something like this was where I was kind of looking to grow. And, I've met Ed. Ed congratulated me when I first took over and became Fixed Operations Director. So I kind of, used the power of knowing some other people and tagging you in that and saying, hey, I want to be a part of this, with the hopes it would catch your eye, since Ed was tagged in that message. And, lo and behold, it did what it did. And, everybody kind of backed me that knew me. Plenty of speakers that you've had on here that have kind of stood up and, vouched for me and said, I have the ability to speak on the product and the performance of what I'm looking at here. So really just making a focus, get my name out there, get the brand out there, and, make myself known. And again, just really give back to the industry. It's done a lot for my family. I've been blessed. My wife's been able to stay home with the 4 kids and raise them during this whole process of me working in the automotive industry. So just any way I can give back and let somebody else kind of get the same joy and passion out of it. That's awesome.
Love it. All right. So Allison, walk us through it. What's going to happen now? You're at Inkcentric. You're there in Los Angeles. You do all these great things for the Fixed Ops Roundtable and for our dealers as well, and for a lot of the companies that we're hearing mentioned as well. Plus, you've got that 20+ year relationship with Galpin that you've got. Talk to us about the awards and what's going to happen now.
So a quick peek, I actually have one here, and this is all the way back to the 6th Fixed Ops. There, we can see it a little bit better here. So I'll get the information from Ted. We will put proofs together, send them out to everybody. Once they're approved, we create the rewards and send them directly to you. It's fun. We love it. And speaking of Galpin, I missed the last time. This is their new calendar that's come out. Tons of good information in here, and great way to keep the service people busy as well. They've got these sitting right in their service department. So as people are not waiting very long for their cars to be done, everybody's able to breeze through the calendar at the same time. And forgive me, Ted, but can I please give a shout out to Kara really quickly, because did anybody see her Bohemian Rhapsody video that we were all graced with? Loved it, Kara.
That was awesome.
So everybody saw it. It was great.
Thank you, Allison.
You're welcome.
You're having fun.
A new career.
Like a lot of fun.
Don't forget an official happy birthday.
Oh, yes. Happy
Yes.
birthday.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
right. That's right. And Allison, you actually print those calendars for Galpin at Inkcentric. Is that right?
We do, yes. We print them at the end of the year, of course. And what's fun is they do 2 Decembers. So there's always it's a 32 page, basically. So there's a December from the first year and a December from the next year. And the great part is the graphics are incredible. They really go all out. This happens to be the specialty calendar. As you can see, there's a gloss all over it. So we do quite a few of the normal calendars and then about 1,000 of these and treat them special. And they actually mail some of these out as well. They're just gorgeous. And I love working on the process with them. And it's so much fun. This is year 23, I believe, of us having the privilege of printing the calendars for them.
Wow, congratulations. And I don't know if you all caught it, but Allison does a regular segment on the Fixed Ops Roundtable events. And she's done quite a few now, where she talks about different promotional things that dealers are doing for the next quarter. And you give us all kinds of great ideas. You gave me the idea of the clothing with the shirt with the Fixed Ops Roundtable crew that we're going to do. That new Tully button, by the way. I don't know if Tully's still on here, but I sent that to Tully for his approval this afternoon. All right, to get his blessing on that. The back to the 80s Tully button. So, yeah.
If you guys can imagine, it looks just like this, but with Slashes hair, if that makes sense, with the big curly hair coming down. So
We
How are
need,
we
we
going to
need
fit all that
zipper
hair on a
pants.
button?
Zipper pants.
love it. Love it.
All right.
Thank you, Ted, for having me involved with this. It's such a treat. And I love being involved with you and the creative ideas you have. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, Allison, thank you for all you do. And Kara, speaking of the 80s, tell us about that next event. I know it's a little ways in the future, but I know we're already working on that. Tell us about that theme and how that came about.
Yeah, we always say, oh, it's a ways away. And then next thing I know, it's right around the corner. So this coming May, You know, we've already given it away a little bit, but it's going to be super exciting. Back to the 80s themed Fixed Ops Roundtable this coming May. It's going to be May 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. And Ted, I don't think any of us can really take credit on the 80s theme, because I will say it was Ed, Tully, and Sean for sure just took that idea and ran with it. They already bought wigs. They are ready to go for the 80s theme. So I think they're already ahead of the game, and we're all going to catch up with them.
Yep. I don't think we're going to get any pushback on some early recordings from those three. So great stuff. And everybody, if you missed any part of the 4-day Fixed Ops Roundtable that we did last week, which was the Wild West, which we'll be putting away a little bit later this week, it is on YouTube. And if you go to YouTube and just search on Fixed Ops Roundtable, you'll find our channel. Please subscribe to the channel. As new videos come on there, you'll be the first to be notified. The entire event is already on there, and that took a long time to get set up, but we've had a lot of traffic on that. And then all the individual segments will be populated over the next few days. So, you'll be able to search on, for example, Zach Fox, and you'll be able to see his segments, plus previous segments that he's done, long ago as well. And the same thing for Sean Butler and Robert and Elizabeth and Allison, you as well. So, well, great job. Well, everybody, congratulations. Thank you so much. You're the best of the best, and appreciate everything you've done for the event, and more to come. So, thank you all. And Kara, thank you as well for all you do.
Of course. I'm sad to put the cowboy hats away, but the 80s hair is coming. So y'all get ready for May. Guys, thank you all. Congratulations to all of our winners. And we will catch everyone on Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Thank you. Have a good night.